Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 843 and Doubleshot number 737. Two Marvel trades, one from Brian Michael Bendis, and the other one from the mind of Rick Remender. Yep. First up is a book that is kind of considered to be the start of Brian Michael Bendis' run on the Avenger books. From 2004 to 2012. What book is this? Secret War. Yeah, this planted the seeds even for another event, Secret Invasion, which I have reviewed on my channel. This was a 5-issue limited series that was released from February 2004 to December 2005. You're probably thinking, 5 issues spread across over a year? Yeah, apparently there was delays with this book. Oh yes, there were delays. As for the placement of this book, well, it's definitely before his New Avengers run. I would say definitely, probably just before he started his, I would say it takes place just prior to the start of his run prior to the release of the Avengers Disassemble. That's pretty much that's where I can place this thing. Yes, this comic is, yes, written by Michael Bendis, but the artwork in here is done by not an artist that generally doesn't team up with him very often. And I think this might be like the only book they've ever teamed up together on. This is Gabriel Del Autodo. I think it's to pronounce the person's name. Yeah, really fantastic cover art here. Yeah, the story for this one is that Nick Fury recruits these handful of superheroes to invade Latveria to take down Lucia von Bardas. I should point out, though, she is a character created by for this particular miniseries. She has come back occasionally since this miniseries included. She and one other character. Yes, those of you familiar with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show know of the character played by Chloe, what's her name? Yeah, it's the actress who plays, if I can find her here. I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Oh yeah, Chloe Bennett. Yes. Chloe Bennett. Yes. The character played by Chloe Bennett on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daisy Johnson, aka Quake. She makes her first appearance in the Marvel Universe in this very miniseries. Not in the first issue, mind you. Oh no. She doesn't show up to like the final issue of the miniseries. Yeah, it takes a while for her to show up. She shows up to issue 2. Yeah. And those of you curious, though, what did she look like in her first appearance? Well, the first thing they showed her off is that they have revealed as a text. Yes, there are text recaps in this thing, basically recordings of various different characters who appear throughout this whole book. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. If you're wondering what she looks like under this artwork and what she looked like in this series. Let's see if I can find her here. Let's see if I can find her here. There she is. This is what Daisy Johnson looked like. I wonder, this is her first, like, a good full appearance for her. Yeah, her look, from what I've done a little research of, is that her original look was based upon the look that Angelina Jolie had from the film Hackers. I've seen the film Hackers. It's a damn good film. Very underrated film from Angelina Jolie. Not many people talk about that one. Okay, which superheroes does Nick Fury recruit to go to Latveria? The heroes he recruits: Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Luke Cage, and the Black Widow. Yeah, and the reason why he's going there taking Lucia von Bardas, because apparently she's supplying B-list supervillains with tech. This also introduced a new Hobgoblin. Technically, I count him as the third Hobgoblin because aside from Jason Macendale, who was the second Hobgoblin, who is dead, by the way. He's been dead for, as of right now, over 20 years. And, of course, Roger Kingsley, the original Hobgoblin. Officially, there have been, in my mind, at least 4. Roger Kingsley, Jason Macendale, this guy who only appears as one miniseries, and Phil Urich, who was also the fifth Green Goblin. Yeah, he pops up in here as well. After this miniseries, he is never seen again. Those of you curious though, what does this Hobgoblin look like? Well, this Hobgoblin has a completely different look than when she's normally been depicted as. Yeah, they even have, believe it or not, Lady Dr. Octopus appeared in this miniseries. That's not a joke. She seriously does appear in here. I'm like, wow. I did not expect it to show up in this very miniseries. Though this is probably technically her first appearance since the 90s. I'm a little surprised they brought her back. Though she did make a recent appearance, I believe was in the pages of Iron Man. Yes, it was a Bendis issue of Iron Man. Yeah, during when Riri Williams was the main character of the book when Tony Stark was in a freaking coma. Yeah, a coma he was in for 2 years. Yeah, no idea why they kept him there that long, but yeah, they kept him in the coma for 2 years. If I meet Bendis, I'm going to ask him that. Why in the world did you keep Tony Stark in a coma for 2 years? Okay, let's see if I can find him here. They do show him off in here. The guy who, for some reason, is counted as the fifth Hobgoblin, even though technically he's the fourth. Actually, he's the third. Let's see if I can find him here. Yeah, his design looks very weird. Like, it's a very bizarre look for him. Yeah, this is the Hobgoblin. This is the fourth one. As for who this guy is, Bendis never revealed who this Hobgoblin was. He's just referred to as typically the one from Saga War. After this miniseries concluded, this guy is never seen again. Yeah. And look, it's Dr. Carolyn Trainer, aka the Lady Dr. Octopus. Yeah, she's open here. Also on this page, we have just to her, if you look to the right there, that's the Wizard. Yeah. I think that's the Wizard. Yeah, I think it is. The guy in front, obviously, that's Scorpion. Yeah, these are various villains who pop up in here. Yeah. Basically, when they invade Latveria, they go there via jet in their civilian identities, and they get their own costumes. In case you're wondering, do they wear these costumes in the comic when they started to launch an attack on Lucia von Bardas? As far as I know, no, they kind of wear a different type of costume. And they don't specifically show exactly what fully happened during the invasion of Latveria. Those of you curious though, how in the world did Lucia von Bardas become the leader of Latveria? And also, where's Dr. Doom at this point? He's in hell. I am not kidding about that. He literally went to hell on Fantastic Four or 500. Also wearing this awful leather outfit for some reason. I have no idea why. That the artist thought it'd be a good idea for him to ditch the classic Jack Kirby look for a leather costume. It was so stupid. And he was in hell for 4 years until he got brought back just prior to Civil War 1. As a matter of fact, Civil War 1 came 1 year after this miniseries concluded. Yeah. After the so-called success of the mission, Nick Fury erased everybody's memories of this particular event. Yeah, he erased their memories. And guess who was the first person to get his own memory unlocked? Believe it or not, it was Captain America, due to him being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Yeah, due to him being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, he has head checked a lot. So, yeah, that was kind of undone by S.H.I.E.L.D. themselves. Yeah, they're the ones who undid it. And yeah. I'm gonna show off a good depiction of Lucia von Bardas. Yeah, as a frickin' cyborg. Yeah, this is what she initially looks like in this book. She does get an upgraded look much later to kind of what she looked like in the Avengers Earth Mighty Heroes TV show. They actually went for that look later. Oh, and those of you curious though, What did she look like before she was a cyborg? She was a beautiful woman before they turned to a frickin' cyborg. Yeah, when they show her off in here, it's like, wow, you turn a gorgeous woman into a frickin' cyborg. Yeah, I have no idea. Well, the reason why is because she was living in, I believe, was Doc Doom's castle, and here she is. This is Lucia von Bartis. Like, damn, this is a smoking hot woman, and yet she was turned into a freaking cyborg. Yeah, and here's kind of the thing. The reason why Nick Fury did it at that particular point, because he gave the evidence to the president, like, okay, and then he says, you can go. And he's like, are we going to do something about this? You can go. And he's so upset he leaves. He talks to his girlfriend, Valentina, Contessa Valentina Del Toro. Yeah, she's Italian. And last time she was seen, she was being held in jail for being the head of Leviathan. Yeah, Marvel's Leviathan. Not to be confused with the group created by Grant Morrison in the pages of Batman Inc. Yeah, that was something that Hickman did. Yeah, these two have been in relationships since the late 1960s. You gotta thank Jim Steranko for that. Yeah, and it's something quite weird though. Despite the fact these two have been together for years, Nick Fury has never married her. I am not kidding about this. They have been together at this point right now. They've officially been a couple for like over 50 years, and these two have never gotten married. And they don't even have any kids. And also, there's no explanation of why in the world she looks exactly the same as she was when she first debuted. Yeah, she still has white in her hair. Nick Fury at least had a reason why. He had chemicals in his body. The Infinity Formula. As for her, Marvel's flying time scale. Yeah, and kind of how this all thing starts in present day. The whole thing with Secret, that happened in a flashback. Yeah, and then they show off, like, they could have shown this cool battle where you have the third Hobgoblin and Lady Dr. Octopus attacking Captain America's apartment. Instead of showing it, it's told via a text recap. That's one of the biggest. That's one of the things I don't like about this particular event. Excuse me. Instead of showing off like good, interesting scenes, we have phone tappings. I'm not kidding about this. There are several of them in the whole entire damn book. I have honestly no idea why that Bendis thought this was a good idea to do. I get that for files. That's fine for the files. But yeah, this is basically we have to suffer through half of the book. Text, like these recorded conversations. Yeah, there's mention of Jason McIndale, but I know for a fact the guy's been dead since the 90s. So, yeah. The only reason I mention him because he was the last known person to become Hobgoblin. That was that. And when the thing ended, it's like, okay, we have Maria Hill shows up in here. By the way, this is probably her first chronological appearance, even though her first actual appearance was actually in New Avengers number 3. This is probably her first chronological appearance because if you read New Avengers, like, okay, where's Nick Fury and who is this Maria Hill character? If you were just reading that, yeah, Maria Hill was put in charge because Nick Fury broke the rules. Yeah, apparently Nick Fury was basically too impatient to get this done. Yeah, from Nick Fury's perspective, it's not the first time I've seen this happen. He says, like, he gives them all the evidence to go after this person, and they sit on it. Yeah. As for who the president's supposed to be in here, it's implied it could be Bush, but I highly doubt Bush would be this stupid to not have an actual invasion of a foreign country due to the fact that criminals are being financed by a foreign country. Yeah, if this was Donald Trump, he would have a full-scale invasion planned within minutes if he found out about something like this. But Bush would not be picked to be stupid, but the kind of thing is about Bush in the Marvel Universe, from what I've heard, and I don't exactly remember this very much, basically I was reading it, apparently they basically have him as a parody of the real life one. Yeah, I don't know why that both DC and Marvel had a problem with Bush, where they couldn't depict him properly, and yet they picked Barack Obama to be a perfectly sane person in the Marvel Universe. But not George Bush. Heck, there's no appearance by even Donald Trump in this universe. But yeah, the story is actually pretty good. aside from the fact that in the time for this thing, Impulse, yeah, and this I thought was really stupid on the part of the government to do. Yeah, there's a full-scale attack on New York City, and nobody's talking about it at all. I mean, New York City is being attacked by a foreign country, and no one's allowed to tell anybody about it because of media blackouts. Heck, Jessica Jones is vehemently was upset about this in the Pulse comic book, and Jameson basically wanted to, but because of the media blackout, he can't do anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, at the end of this comic, Nick Fury disappears. If you wonder how long he stays gone for, he stays gone at this point for 3 years. He doesn't return to Secret Invasion. According to Bendis, this is set up for Secret Invasion. Yep. It's a good story, but I kind of wish a little more something was shown instead of being told via text recaps. I'm going to give this book an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good, but not one of Bendis' best works. I like Secret Invasion better. Next up, it is Uncanny X-Force, The Dark Angel Saga. Book 2. Collect the Uncanny X-Force 14 and 19. Written by Recommender. Artwork by Jerome Arpia. I think it's Robbie Rodriguez. Let me check here. No, yeah, Robert Rodriguez does the final issue here. Mm-hmm. Jermaine Arpia does issues 14 and 19. Yeah, those of you curious though why I don't have book 1, I just don't. I haven't found it yet. I found book 2. I read it. I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much it's X-Force versus Archangel. Yeah, this particular set of issues wraps up pretty much mostly what the book has been going on in this book, the series, since issue 1. Yeah, the whole thing with Archangel, and there's some other stuff in here. Like they mentioned what happened in the first arc when Phantom X killed the Child Apocalypse. Yeah, they mentioned that in here. Oh, by the way, that comes back to bite him in the final issue of the storyline. And in the storyline, you have it where you take on the new 4 Horsemen, and at one point in the book, Archangel, despite the fact being in love with Psylocke, has sex with Pestilence. Odd panel. As for why he did this, never explained because... Oh, and by the way, what was this set up for? Yeah, in this series, I don't think Rick Remender basically had time to figure out what was... Because at the end of the storyline, Pestilence is pregnant with Archangel's children. Yeah, and this is a plot thread that remained unresolved for... Oh, I think it was just a couple years. Yeah, this wasn't finally resolved until like a year later. I think it was, right? Yeah, I think this came out in 2011, right? No, 2012. Yeah, this would be a plot point that would not be resolved until the following year when Rick Remender started his run on Uncanny Avengers. Yeah, that would be a plot point hanging. Also in here, we have the view of the Dr. Mind Bubble statue. Yep. This is kind of Dr. Mind Bubble's first unofficial appearance in the Marvel Universe before he showed up in Captain America. Yeah, and that's also bring back the character, introduce the character Evan, aka Genesis, also known as Kid Apocalypse. Yeah, at the end of the storyline, Archangel becomes a student. Well, Warren becomes a student at the Xavier with the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, along with Evan. And Beast and Kitty Pryde find out about what's going on with X-Force, and they're upset with Wolverine by this, but at least Wolverine is no longer keeping secrets. Yeah, that was an agreement him and Beast had. No more secrets. Telling at this point was probably a good idea to do. Also in here, it sets up something that would happen that would be followed up in the pages of Uncanny X-Men. What is that? Tubula Rosa. Yeah, it's a town that was basically turned into some kind of dome. Yeah, and this was done by frickin' Archangels. Well, this was done by the character Genocide, who is the son of Apocalypse. Yeah, and by the way, his mother, believe it or not, was actually one of the first... she was actually part of the original present-day 4 Horsemen Apocalypse. Yeah, she was the Horseman Famine. I'm not kidding about that. She was Famine. And apparently, at some point, she and Apocalypse had a one-night stand. and she kept her son hidden. Oh, and by the way, that is genocide. Not kidding about that. My guess is the reason why that recommender probably introduced this character is because that in Age of Apocalypse, Apocalypse has a son. He's called Holocaust. So, give him a similar appearance to Holocaust and call him genocide. The only difference is William, aka Genocide, is in fact Apocalypse's biological son, while in the case of Holocaust, he was adopted. That's the only difference. And speaking of Age of Apocalypse, the Age of Apocalypse characters show up in here. Though I don't exactly have their first time they meet the X-Force. Yeah, the only member people show up in here is Sabretooth, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler. Oh, when Kitty Pryde first meets Nightcrawler, yeah, from Nightcrawler's perspective, he has no idea who Kitty Pryde is. Despite the fact, yes, he kind of has met her. There is a version of his universe of Kitty Pryde, who was married to Colossus. Until Colossus killed her. Because he was upset his baby sister disappeared. Yep. Despite the fact I don't have the full story here, but this is really, really good. Yes, I thoroughly enjoy this. The ending of this particular storyline, the final issue, sets up the next story arc, Otherworld, where Captain Britain, be a dick, just takes Phantom X without telling anybody and takes him on trial for what happened in the first arc. Yeah, that happens in the Otherworld arc. And also when Psylocke becomes Lady Britain for a brief period of time. Yeah, I personally can't wait to review the first trade of this, and of course get Otherworld and the two trades of Final Extinction. Yeah. Unlike this, which was 8 issues. Final Extinction was a good, I think it was almost about the same amount, but was split up into two trades because it was the final arc of the run. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Excuse me. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Yeah, as for the placement of this thing, yeah, that's one thing that's quite confusing about the Marvel Universe when it comes to the X books. You can't exactly tell what order you can read these in, but in the case of this, you can just read as right as read Dark Angel Saga. Though they do reference what happens in here in the pages of Uncanny X-Men during Kieran Gillian's run, toward the end of his run for the book. Yeah, it's the second arc of the relaunch of Uncanny X-Men 2011. That's when they actually reference the stuff that happens in here. Mm-hmm. So that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of Ace Attorney and, of course, the next High School DxD light novel. Okay? But to see you next review. Bye.